The holidays are coming, and I've got a Boost Mobile gift just for you.
Aw, for me, Anna?
Yes, Anna, you deserve a gift. The Boost Mobile Unlimited plan is just $10 a month for the first 2 months, then $25 a month forever, with unlimited data, talk, and text. It's a gift. Thanks, Anna. Anytime, Anna.
The holidays are here, and the best gift is for you. Offer valid at boostmobile.com. After your first 2 months, you'll pay $25 a month unless you go online or call to cancel. Requires autopay.
Welcome, dear friends, to Mindful Mondays. I'm your host, Ashley Bentley, and this is your weekly pocket of peace, presence, and gentle nervous system nourishment, right here on the Neurodivergent Experience podcast. So we've entered the heart of December now, and if you're anything like me, or like so many people in our beautiful neurodivergent community, this is the month that carries a very particular kind of emotional weather. A month where the world becomes louder, brighter, busier, and somehow more demanding. A month where expectations swell and routines disappear, emotions sharpen, and the air itself seems to hum with an unspoken pressure to be joyful, together, organized, festive, present, and capable. And yet, for so many of us, this is also a month of deep tiredness, a month of overstimulation, a month where loneliness becomes louder, a month where the nervous system feels like it is walking on thin ice, doing its very best to hold up under the weight of too much. So today we're going to gently name that weight. We're going to speak softly into the places that tighten this time of year. The exhaustion, the overwhelm, the expectations, and the ache of loneliness. We're going to explore why December lands so differently for neurodivergent nervous systems, and why it's so difficult to articulate the complexity of this month. And also how you can find pockets of warmth inside yourself when the world feels cold, chaotic, or simply overstimulating. Because December is paradoxical. It's a season of light and a season of shadow, a season of belonging and a season of separation, a season of gathering, and a season of deep internal retreat. And if your experience of December doesn't match the glittering imagery in the shop windows, you are not doing anything wrong. Your nervous system is responding truthfully. And sometimes truth looks like tiredness. Sometimes it looks like wanting quiet. Sometimes it looks like knowing how to feel joyful when everyone else seems to be performing joy. Sometimes it looks like longing for rest, for simplicity, longing for connection that feels safe, and for warmth that feels real. And so today, we're going to make space for all of that. So for many neurodivergent humans, December is not simply a busy month. It's a month where demands of the world exceed the capacity of the body. And in episode 11, we talked about how the neurodivergent nervous system takes in more of the world, more sound, more light, more emotion, more movement, more nuance. And in episode 12, we explored how our brain hemispheres create stories about who we must be in certain environments. And December, more than any other month, activates those old stories. The story that says, I need to show up. I need to be cheerful. I need to be capable. I can't let anyone down. I should be able to handle this. These stories create enormous pressure on a system already stretched very thin. And the truth is, the December environment itself is dysregulating. Shops are louder, lights are brighter, crowds are bigger and thicker, schedules are unpredictable, and routines fall apart, and sensory input multiplies, and social expectations skyrocket. And even the emotional landscape shifts. Memories arise, grief resurfaces, comparisons sharpen, and old family patterns reappear the moment the calendar turns to December. And on the Neurodivergent Experience podcast, Jordan and Simon recently spoke about how even joyful gatherings can be laced with an undercurrent of exhaustion. Because neurodivergent people don't just attend an event, they process every micro detail of it. Every sound and smell, facial expression, task, sensory shift, emotional nuance, and social cue. It's like being asked to swim in deeper, darker water while everyone else is floating casually on the surface, wondering why you seem tired. And so, if you feel more exhausted this month, that makes sense. If you feel more easily overwhelmed, that makes sense. And if you feel lonelier, that makes sense. If you feel out of step with the season around you, that makes sense. Your nervous system is not misbehaving. It is responding truthfully. And loneliness in December carries a particular kind of sting. It's not just loneliness. It's loneliness in a month that expects togetherness. So for many listening, loneliness doesn't necessarily mean being physically alone. You might be surrounded by people, surrounded by noise, surrounded by activity, and yet feel profoundly separate inside. Loneliness can be sensory. Loneliness can be emotional. Loneliness can be the distance between who you are and who you're expected to be. It can be the sense of being the outsider in your own family, the one who is different, too intense, too sensitive, too quiet, too overwhelmed. And loneliness can also arise when you're masking, when you're participating, but not truly present, when your nervous system is so focused on managing input that you don't have the bandwidth to feel connected. That's the loneliness most neurodivergent people know too well. The loneliness inside connection. The loneliness even in the presence of others. And layered on top of that is a second loneliness. The loneliness of believing you shouldn't feel lonely. The loneliness of shame. The loneliness of comparisons. The loneliness of thinking you're the only one struggling in a month plastered with glittering images of families laughing, friends hugging, tables overflowing, and hearts full. But I want you to know something very important. December loneliness is one of the most common experiences among neurodivergent adults. You are not alone in this feeling, even if the feeling itself tells you otherwise. And this brings us to a tiny moment of bite-sized Buddhism. In Buddhism, loneliness would be called a form of dukkha, not dramatic suffering, but that subtle contraction of the heart, the ache of separation, the tightness around longing. And Buddhist teaching says, suffering softens when we stop resisting the ache. We don't have to fix loneliness. We don't have to escape it. We can simply acknowledge it, breathe with it, and hold it in loving awareness, the way you would hold a fragile winter leaf in your hand, knowing that it won't stay forever. This alone creates a shift And exhaustion in December is also not a character flaw. It's a boundary. It is a signal, a form of communication. Your body is saying, I cannot process this much input. I need space. I need rest. I need steadiness. I need less noise. I need fewer rolls. And I need a slower rhythm. And in episode 11, we talked about how the body whispers, then speaks, then shouts. And December is a month of shouting. Because every demand of the season, the socializing, the shopping, the decision-making, the cooking, the gifting, the hosting, the financial pressure, the constant interruption of routine, all of that is cumulative. And neurodivergent burnout often arrives not because of one big thing, but because of 1,000 small demands. And December is full of small demands. And the world does not teach us how to rest, especially this month. Which is why exhaustion feels like a personal failure. But exhaustion is not failure. Exhaustion is a boundary you may not have chosen, but one that is protecting you. So holiday overwhelm comes in layers. There's the sensory overwhelm, the lights, the noise, the crowds. There is the emotional overwhelm, grief, longing, comparison, old memories. And there is expectational overwhelm, the silent belief that you should be able to hold it all together gracefully, cheerfully, endlessly. But overwhelm is not a weakness. It is a physiological state, a state of too much, too fast, too soon, too loud, too bright, too pressured. And you may remember in episode 10, we talked about the breath as a bridge between the voluntary and involuntary worlds. And December often collapses that bridge. The breath becomes shallow, and the pace becomes rushed, and the body becomes tense. Overwhelm is the body's way of saying, this moment is exceeding my capacity. And capacity is not something we choose. It's something we honor. So how about a moment of microdosing meaning? I want to offer you a tiny reframe, just enough to shift the tone of the month inside you. So instead of saying, what is wrong with me this December? You could try saying, what is my nervous system trying to tell me? Instead of thinking, everyone else seems fine, why don't you try saying to yourself, others may be performing. My body is telling the truth. And instead of saying to yourself, I should be coping better, why don't you try saying, I am noticing my limits, and that noticing is wisdom. These are small shifts, but small shifts can soften a whole season. And in next week's Mindful Mondays, episode 15, we'll be talking about reclaiming a sense of steadiness in December. We'll be exploring the circle of control, what is yours to carry and what is not yours to hold. And knowing the difference brings instant relief to the nervous system. So this episode, today's episode, is the emotional foundation. And next week will be the practical structure you can lean on through the rest of December. And so now, let's take a journey together. A winter journey. A landscape meditation designed to soothe loneliness and soften overwhelm. And bring your nervous system back to a place of gentle, grounded presence. And if you are currently driving or operating heavy machinery, please ensure to pause the recording until you can safely come back into stillness. So just find a comfortable position. You could be seated or lying down. And ensure your body is warm and fully supported. And allow the body to begin to soften. And allow a breath to slowly enter and slowly leave again. And let's step together into a winter world. Can you now just imagine, only imagine now, standing at the edge of a quiet forest at dusk, and snow is falling very softly, the kind of snow that absorbs sound rather than creates it. And the world feels muted, gentle, and softened around the edges. And the air is cold, but not harsh, just crisp enough to wake you, and soft enough to hold you. And you take one step into the snow, and you hear the soft crunch beneath your feet. And as you walk, you notice how still everything is, how every branch seems coated in white, how every sound is softened by snow, how the world is hushed, as if the forest itself has exhaled fully and settled into rest. And can you imagine beginning to walk along a narrow path? A path that winds between tall pines dusted with shimmering frost. And the light is a soft winter blue, glowing at the horizon. And your breath forms a gentle cloud of warmth in the air, rising like a tiny offering of heat to the cold world around you. And as you walk, notice how the quiet begins to settle inside you. There is something sacred about a winter forest. The stillness, the purity, the simplicity. It's a place where nothing demands anything of you, where the world is pared down to its essentials. And with each step, I want you to imagine that you are walking away from the noise, the expectations, the heaviness, the emotional clutter of December, leaving footprints behind you in the snow, as though you are gently releasing everything that has been weighing on your system. Good, that's right. Feel the forest drawing you inward toward a small clearing ahead where the snowfall softens even more and the air grows warmer and the space feels like a sanctuary carved out just for you. And as you step into the clearing, you notice a small wooden cottage nestled beneath the trees. And warm golden light spills from its windows, casting a soft glow onto the snow around it. And smoke curls gently from the chimney, carrying the scent of firewood, that comforting scent of warmth in winter. This is your inner home, your winter sanctuary, the part of you untouched by overwhelm. The place inside you where loneliness softens and exhaustion can rest. And walking toward the cottage now, slowly, noticing the warmth that radiates toward you with each step. And when you reach the door, it opens easily, as though the cottage has been expecting you. And you step inside, and the warmth wraps around you instantly. There is a fire crackling softly in a stone fireplace. A thick blanket is draped across a wooden chair. And a small table holds a steaming mug of something warm and fragrant. And the room is lit with a golden glow, soft, gentle, soothing. And you take a seat in the chair by the fire and feel the heat seep into your body, warming your hands, your feet, your chest. The exhaustion that has lived in your bones begins to loosen. The loneliness in your heart begins to thaw, and the overwhelm begins to dissolve into the soft crackle of the fire. This cottage is yours. This stillness is yours. This warmth is yours to return to whenever you need it. And now, place a hand over your heart and breathe gently into the warmth there. And silently offer yourself this phrase, a simple blessing to meet you where you are. May I feel held in this season. May I find pockets of rest May I know warmth, even in winter. Say it again internally. Slow, spacious, and kind. May I feel held in this season. May I find pockets of rest. May I know warmth, even in winter. And let the warmth of the fire mingle with the warmth of your touch. Let the cottage hold you. Let the winter forest protect you. And let the quiet be your companion. And now imagine that outside this cottage, snowfall continues. Gentle, steady, unhurried, wrapping the world in white, like a soft winter blanket. You are safe here. You are not required to perform anything. You are not required to be festive. You are not required to hold everything. Here, you get to simply be. And just stay with the warmth for a few more breaths. And when you're ready, you can imagine slowly standing up, walking back to the door, and stepping again into the snowy clearing. The forest is quiet. The world is soft. And the path home lies ahead of you. But you now carry the warmth of the cottage inside your chest. You are held. You are softened. You are warmed. And you can begin to gently return to the room that you're in. And bring a slow breath into your lungs. And exhale softly. Feeling the support beneath you. And whenever you're ready, and not a moment before, you can feel free to gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me this week on Mindful Mondays. And if this meditation brought you relief or helped to soften something inside, I want to remind you that there is so much more support waiting for you on my Insight Timer channel. Just search for Ashley Bentley. You'll find short grounding practices for moments of overwhelm, yoga nidras for deep rest, different loving kindness meditations, and bedtime alchemy stories. And there's more coming soon. You do not have to carry this month alone. Thank you so much for joining me today and for showing up for yourself. in a season that can be so demanding, remember, your exhaustion is real, and it makes sense. Your loneliness is real, and it is not a verdict. Your overwhelm is also real, and it is not your fault. And make sure to tune into this week's Neurodivergent Experience podcast, where Jordan, Simon, and I discuss Christmas overwhelm and expectations in more depth. And next week here on Mindful Mondays, we'll explore the circle of control in a gentle, empowering way to reclaim your energy, your boundaries, and your inner steadiness through the rest of December. Until then, may you move gently. May you meet yourself with kindness. And may you remember that even in winter, there is a warmth inside you. And as always, we're just walking each other home.
Here's how to stay alive longer so you can enjoy Boost Mobile's unlimited plan with a price that never goes up. Do not mistake a wasp nest for a piñata. Stay alive and switch now at Boost Mobile. After 30 gigs, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Dreaming of getting the all-new iPhone 17 Pro designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever?
Then stay in bed and let a Boost Mobile expert deliver and set it up for you.
Oh, actually, they will have to get up and open the door.
Oh, right.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com. Terms apply.
The holidays are coming, and I've got a Boost Mobile gift just for you.
Aw, for me, Anna?
Yes, Anna, you deserve a gift. The Boost Mobile Unlimited plan is just $10 a month for the first 2 months, then $25 a month forever, with unlimited data, talk, and text. It's a gift. Thanks, Anna. Anytime, Anna.
The holidays are here, and the best gift is for you. Offer valid at boostmobile.com. After your first 2 months, you'll pay $25 a month unless you go online or call to cancel. Requires autopay.